We all know pain. It's an unavoidable guest in the journey of life, a shadow that often seems to cling to our brightest moments. But what if I told you that the true measure of pain isn't in its intensity, but in the size of the vessel we use to contain it? What if the bitterness we taste isn't solely from the pain itself, but from the limited capacity of our own hearts? This is a lesson a young man named Ryan learned, a lesson that transformed his understanding of suffering and unlocked a profound sense of peace. Ryan was at a crossroads, overwhelmed by a series of setbacks that had left him feeling utterly defeated. His career had stalled, a significant relationship had ended, and the financial strain was immense. Each problem, no matter how small, felt like a crushing blow, leaving him bitter and resentful. He felt as though life was unfairly targeting him, drowning him in an ocean of despair. Desperate for guidance, Ryan sought out an old, wise man who lived on the outskirts of his village, renowned for his serene demeanor and profound insights. Ryan poured out his heart, detailing every struggle, every ache, every moment of frustration. The wise man listened patiently, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding, until Ryan finally fell silent, exhausted by his own lament. "Ryan," the wise man began, his voice soft yet resonant, "your pain is like salt." Ryan looked puzzled. The wise man continued, "Tell me, how bitter is the taste of salt?" "Very bitter," Ryan replied without hesitation. The wise man then stood and retrieved a glass of water and a small pouch of salt. He asked Ryan to take a pinch of salt from the pouch and put it into the glass. Ryan did as he was told. "Now," the wise man instructed, "drink the water." Ryan grimaced as he took a sip. "It's incredibly salty and unpleasant," he reported, his face contorted in disgust. The wise man nodded, then led Ryan out of his small hut and towards a vast, shimmering lake nearby. The morning sun danced on its surface, and the air was filled with the gentle rustle of reeds. He handed Ryan the salt pouch once more. "Now, take the rest of the salt and cast it into the lake," he said. Ryan, still unsure of the purpose, emptied the remaining salt into the expansive waters. The wise man then scooped up a handful of water from the lake and offered it to Ryan. "Drink this," he commanded gently. Ryan drank. The water was cool, refreshing, and tasted perfectly normal. "It's fresh," Ryan said, genuinely surprised. "I can't taste the salt at all." The wise man smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Ryan," he explained, "the pain in your life is precisely like this salt. The quantity of salt did not change. The bitterness you felt in the glass of water was not because the salt was more potent, but because the vessel was so small. When you poured that same amount of salt into the vastness of the lake, its presence was diluted, becoming imperceptible." He paused, letting the profound truth sink in. "Your heart, Ryan, is like that vessel. When your heart is as small as a glass of water, even a little pain will make you feel intensely bitter. Every minor setback, every small disappointment will overwhelm you, making life seem unbearable. But if you broaden your heart, making it as vast and expansive as this lake, even great pain will not affect you much. It will dissolve, becoming a mere whisper in the grand symphony of your existence." Ryan looked from the wise man to the serene lake, a newfound understanding dawning in his eyes. He realized that his constant focus on his problems had shrunk his capacity to endure, making him feel the full, undiluted bitterness of every challenge. "And how does one broaden their heart?" Ryan asked, his voice now filled with a glimmer of hope. "Through patience, my dear boy," the wise man replied. "Patience is the key that unlocks the true expanse of your heart. Little patience makes small problems seem gargantuan, capable of crushing your spirit. But great patience helps you navigate through even the most colossal problems, allowing you to see beyond the immediate sting and understand the deeper lessons they carry. It allows your heart to grow, to encompass more, to hold more, without becoming saturated by sorrow." He continued, "Everyone faces problems and pain in life. They are not punishments, but necessary teachers. They are the grit that polishes the pearl, the darkness that allows us to truly appreciate the light of happiness. Without struggle, how would we ever know the joy of overcoming? Without sadness, how would we truly cherish happiness?" The wise man placed a comforting hand on Ryan's shoulder. "So, when you face problems, Ryan, do not become as small and constricted as a glass of water. Instead, cultivate patience, broaden your heart, expand your capacity to understand and endure, until you become as vast and unshakable as this lake. Only then will you find true peace, and only then will you realize that even the most bitter salt can be rendered harmless within the boundless waters of a compassionate and patient heart. Ryan stood by the lake, no longer feeling the crushing weight of his troubles. The pain was still there, a memory, but its power over him had diminished. He understood now. His suffering wasn't a flaw in life, it was a reflection of his own inner vessel, and he knew, with unwavering certainty, that he had the power to expand it.